Welcome to another episode of Galaxy Marine's True Bass. Today we're on Folsom Lake with Russ Graves and me, Phil Clark. Welcome to Folsom Lake. Today we're out here, it's the middle of spring, a little bit chilly day. We've got a northwest wind, and today what we did was we wanted to invite Russ Graves out. He's our resident swim bait expert on Folsom Lake, and he's been on some big fish, so we gave him a call, and he's lucky enough to come out with us.
Yeah, today we're going to pretty much focus on a lot of surface wake bait type baits. We've had about an 8-degree swing between yesterday morning and this morning as far as temperature change, so hopefully that doesn't kill us too bad. We should still catch quite a few though.
Let's go see if we can get a few, Russ. Let's go fishing, man. We're fishing just over by Brown's Ravine, just the entrance of the South Fork. Fishing some flats or rocky banks. Just gonna see what's up on here. Throwing a little baby wake here. Just a little wake bait from 316 Lure Company. Not a lot of them out yet, but it's going to be a real effective bait. Strategy right now is just go after some active fish. See if they're up on the bank feeding. Early in the morning is always prime time. Those fish are usually active. They've got a little sight advantage over their prey. So they're usually chasing bait, something up shallow. Now Russ, when you're fishing these wake baits, you twitch your baits a lot when you're throwing them?
I actually do. I break them up, you stop them. A lot of times I'll just throw a little splash, a little twitch in it. So a lot of times these fish are falling at, a couple feet behind. When they see that bait stop or change directions, that's when they eat it. So if you could see them, and you always want to do a change up and get them change a little direction.
So what we're coming up to is a little saddle between the main shore and this little island right here. Kind of an ambush point. See if we can catch one here. We'll pick up triple trout here, and this bait I've caught a lot of fish on in this lake. Doesn't look like too much out of the water. If you throw that bait in the water, it's got a ton of action. Oh! Try and get out of your way, Russ.
Ooh, giant. We got probably about a 2-pound spotted bass. Not really what we're looking for, but we don't have a whole lot of, actually probably not even 2 pound, pound and a half. Not what we're really looking for, but as soon as that sun comes up, we get a little sun on the water, the fish see that bait a lot better. We're gonna start hunting for some big fish. We're just leaving Brown's Ravine right now, a little spot over here. We're trying to catch a few spotted bass. We actually caught one small one. Now we're going to do a change. We're going to actually go up and try to catch some largemouth. Hit them while we just barely got a little bit of sun on the water.
Now we're up here in South Fork, Russ, up almost to the South Fork Bridge. Been catching them up here pretty good?
Yeah, they've been up here holding pretty good. They, a lot of these fish follow that water temperature break all the way up, and water temperature break's not super far past the bridge, so a lot of fish stay and hold on that bridge.
You can see all the stick-ups along the bank over there. Those used to be all willows. The fish would just relate to those.
I found this BBZ laying on the deck of the boat. Feels rod. Oh yeah. Gonna see if we can catch one on field swim baits.
Right now I'm throwing a little osprey top hook talon. It's a new bait, came out. It's been real popular at Clear Lake. I think it's going to be a real good bait here out here in Folsom. You can see it's got a hook embedded in the top with a little rigging system. It's been real effective for a lot of guys. Pretty excited about getting it in my hands.
I think the battle's going to be fought here in a little bit. I think when that sun gets up good and warms up that water a little bit, I think we're going to be catching them. But I think until then, we're going to do some sissy fishing. Spotter bass. Nice little wormfish, nice 1.5 pound. Wormfish, still got a belly on him. Doesn't look like he spawned out yet. His tail's still not even rubbed off at all, so.
Hey Russ, I think the toughest part of learning how to fish swim baits is when to put them down. You know, when do you think is the time to put them down and quit throwing them for the day, or you know, do you come back to them, or what's your thoughts on that?
I think the best thing is, you know, you could go out and you could throw a swim bait, you could throw it for 5 hours and not get a bite, and then have those fish move up, and you could load the boat in an hour. A lot of times, you know, when you fish a tournament, when you catch these swim bait fish, I won the tournaments in 45 minutes when you know the fish move up, and that's the biggest key to fishing swim baits, is getting them, you know, up while they're up, you know, shallow.
There he is. Oh, he's got a nice one with him, Russ. Wish I could have caught the one that was with him, but nice little spotted bass, just swimming a little grub. I guess I should have retied after that.
There he is! Pro tip of the day. After you get hung up, your skinny dipper, retie it. A Huddleston's one of my favorite baits to throw. I flare the gills. I actually cut the gills open. You take a razor blade and you actually cut the gills along the line all the way down to the V. You don't want to cut them super deep, because if you cut them super deep, this whole thing's going to flip up on you. So I cut the gills, and I actually take a toothpick and I poke a toothpick behind the gills to keep that gill flared out. Just makes a difference for when that fish gets up behind it. Those gills are flared. You can see the color in there. I think it's really helped as far as getting bites. And another thing I like to do is I like to pack I always throw a bunch of swim bait sauce behind here, and it helps hold it in there so it lasts a little bit longer. Dude, look at the size of that smallmouth. The largemouth? Dude, giant. So giant. That's what we came clear up South Fork for right there. It's like a pound little smallmouth.
You handle that fish, Russ?
Whew.
Looks like he's getting away.
I'm telling you what, I'm not used to catching them that size, but that was pretty fun. We'll let them go back, grow up a little bit. You know, right now it's flat calm. Obviously, you're not going to catch swimbait fish good in this stuff. But if you give it, you know, if the wind comes up, you got to give it probably a good 45 minutes to an hour for those fish to move up. Especially when the heat comes in and gets on the water real good. So that's what we're really hoping happens today. Hopefully it just warms the water up real good right now. wind will blow here in a little bit, and then we're going to catch some pretty good swim bait fish. So
until then, we'll stick with 8-pound test and catch some finesse fish.
Exactly.
Because they're biting.
Yep. This is like a little better fish. That's definitely a little better fish. Got a pretty good head shake to him. That's a little better spotted bass. A 2-pounder. Getting a little bigger. Just I'm on a 6.5 or 6-inch robo worm.
Yeah, we switched over to this finesse stuff and it seems to be working. Catching fish on it. Another little spotted bass. And they fight good this time of year, don't they, Russ?
Oh, yeah.
Whole 1.5 feels like it's 4 pounds. Wind's blowing good now, made a move back into New York Creek. What we're fishing is basically just a big old flat. Just going along with the wind, make a long cast. Trying to cover as much water as we can right now. See if they're up here and active.
Ooh, there you go. You see that?
He's on it.
Oh.
He's still on it. I've had a couple follows and fish just seem like they want to follow it right now. They're just not real aggressive yet.
This is a must if you're going to be doing any swim bait fishing right. They're too expensive to get hung up and just keep breaking them off. So basically what you do is you wrap your line around, you get hung up first, you wrap your line around, drop it down, and I got so much chain on mine because all I do is get it down there, and if it doesn't knock it loose, because this, this thing weighs about a pound, if it doesn't knock it loose, you just keep shaking it until you catch a hook. Once you get a hook cut in one of these, you just pull your bait back up. You might ruin one of your hooks, but at least you get your bait back.
I've got one similar here. What I did is I put mine on a old broken down rod. I just cut the rest of the rod up, used it on the butt section of the rod. Put a reel on there, 100-pound Dacron line, tie it to there, you just drop it down. Probably 99 out of 100 times you can get your lure back. I've saved so much money using one of these since I got one. It's unreal. So those fish in New York weren't quite ready, so we came back up to the South Fork Bridge up here, see if we can catch them up here, see if they've got active yet. So we're going to give it a go up here for a little while.
There he is. Not a huge fish, but
that's more of what we're looking for, Russ.
Yeah, we're starting to get there.
There you go.
That's a 3-pound spot. A little heavier than 3. This fat football. His tail hasn't even been rubbed at all. He was hungry.
Now, since Russ is trying to work me a little bit, figured I'd pull out the spinning rod, finesse tactics, try to catch a couple. Just missed one right there. So Russ is trying to really put it to me now. He got spinning rod out too.
I seen Phil reach for his worm rod, so he's on to something. I know he is.
Now we're fishing this bridge. This bridge runs right along where these hazard buoys are. You can actually see it under the water. And what I'm doing is just casting right to the face of it. Those fish are just suspending up off the top. That's a better fish right there. Oh, stay in the boat. So when you get those fish in the boat, you shouldn't grab the line and try to pull them up by the line, especially when they're 3-pounders. You snap them off and then you just kick out the lure you're just using. Just came out of the South Fork a little bit, in deep ravine now. Wind's still blowing pretty good. You can keep throwing these wake baits. Hey Russ, I've got a question for you. When you get followers,
Yeah.
what do you do when you get a lot of followers throughout the day?
And they won't eat?
Yeah, do you switch to another bait, or do you, try erratic things?
Yeah, a lot of times the only problem about just like the baits we're throwing right now is, if you get a follower, it's hard to, you can't twitch them sideways, you can't move them. I mean, you could reel them or you could stop them. So usually what I'll do is switch to a different bait that, you could twitch around a little bit.
So Russ, when you're throwing the baits that sink, the Huddlestons, the triple trout, what kind of line do you prefer then?
I like to throw 20 or 25 pound Seagar fluorocarbon. I used to run just big game on my swim baits too, and I switched to fluorocarbon line, and you probably get 3-to-1 bites on a good fluorocarbon line. And plus, it's a lot more sensitive, but a lot more brittle. As far as nicks in your line, if you get any little nick in your line, you got to retie, because that's your weak spot.
We've been talking all day about wake baits and swim baits. Russ, why don't you explain the difference between the two?
Well, they're all swim baits. They're still swim baits, but a wake bait is actually just a surface bait. It actually it's got a lip right here that pushes water and keeps it on the surface, and it just pushes a bunch of water as it works. So it actually kind of makes a lot of commotion and knocks pretty good back and forth too. I'm going to switch up to a Huddleston, number 12. Got a stinger hook on the back. On the top, I actually cut the bottom one off because I fish Amador.
It's about 1 o'clock right now. We we ran up to one of our spots that's been pretty good in the afternoon, and there's a boat sitting on it, so we came back down some of the South Fork points and just throwing some dart heads, catching a couple fish on dart heads right now. Pretty healthy little spot.
So we're back in New York Creek once again, just checking these fish one last time before we go out to the main body. Now what I've done is I've switched to a Huddleston Raider Fall 12. This one's a little beat up, caught a few fish on it. I do run a stinger on the back, and what we're going to do is, since these fish are probably on that first break, we're just going to start slow rolling these HUDs right out off of that break.
Well,
Paid off.
paid off.
Sometimes that gut instinct's what you got to go with.
We
It paid off there.
been really trying to get something going. You can tell he's been down there spawning. He's kind of been beaten up, but he's in here eating trout, so nice fish.
Well, today was an interesting day for me. Got to fish with Russ, got a bunch of swim bait techniques, tips for out at Folsom Lake. I had kind of a rough day, broke a couple fish off, had some followers, didn't catch too many fish, a couple on the finesse rigs.
Okay, one of the baits we started with this morning, and I actually threw it a bunch today, is the AC Minnow 7-inch. It's a really good bait. It's actually it's one of the smaller wake baits out. It's a real good fish catching bait. Normally when you get bit on it, you got really good hookup rate. If we wouldn't have had a real cold morning, I would have started with some bigger baits, but being how cold it was this morning, I didn't think that they would eat anything super big. So we did that. We had a couple bites this morning, caught one, and it got kind of tough. So we actually went and we caught some fish on an 1/8 ounce dart head. This is actually a zipper head. It's a weedless dart head with a Robo 6-inch Xmas purple weenie color worm. Then tried actually a new floating bait out. It's a real erratic bait. So they just weren't real aggressive today, so it wasn't working super good. This is called Alley Baby. It's in about another 2 weeks, it's going to be a deadly bait. And then we weren't having super good success with floaters in the afternoon, so we decided to go a little deeper. So we went back some of the same spots where we've been catching them, and we went with the Huddleston number 12. And as soon as we actually picked them up, we actually started getting bit on it. We probably should have not been so stubborn and started a little bit earlier. But this is actually a great bait. Super slow, super subtle bait.
We'd like to thank Russ for coming out and showing us a bunch of swim bait tips on Folsom Lake. We had a great time today.
We did. We caught a lot of fish. It wasn't the quality fish we wanted to catch, but it actually ended up to be a pretty fun day. It was great fishing with Phil all day. We had fun the whole day, and I just want to thank Galaxy Marine for having me out on their boat.
See you next time on Galaxy Marine.